Hello, welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranch, and today I will be giving you the Capper Comparison Picks for the early prelim fights of UFC Vegas 48. Before I get into this week's card, let's go over briefly, not too long, we'll briefly go over how I did in last week's event, UFC 271, which was a very good one for me. It could have been much better, but it was good nonetheless. Guys, I did fantastic actually. Okay, we're gonna start. These aren't really in order, but I'm gonna go by the order I filmed them at. Just quickly, the first set of three, the first show, the early prelims I did last week, I only lost the one. I lost Sergey Morozov. He lost this Douglas Silva de Lima or Andrade. I'm sorry, Andrade got the sub round two. But I did get right Jeremiah Wells and Mike Mathetha. I picked Jeremiah Wells. Submission round one, nailed it. Nailed the prop. Jacob Malkoon. Thankfully, I flipped my pick off of AJ Dobson during the live stream because of thank you Cody from Blood Money. He pretty much convinced me and urged me to. I was on the fence. I didn't know, but he convinced me to take Jacob Malkoon for the wrestling, and that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly how he won. Then moving on, I took Maxime Grishin to beat William Knight by decision. Prop, nailed it. Alex Perez match now was postponed yet again. Unbelievable. And then I picked Casey O'Neill, but I hedge bet Roxanne Modafferi, and I really wanted her to win, but nonetheless, Casey O'Neill did get a pretty good decision, and then the fans were booing her, and she's like, "Oh, fuck you! You want me to be a villain? I'll be a villain," and whatever, all that good stuff. But anyway, I don't think they're not hating on you, Casey O'Neill. You're fine. You're fine. You don't have to be the villain, but she said she's willing to play that part. Then moving on, I took Carlos Olberg. He got the decision over Fabio Cherant. I picked him to get a TKO, but he did get the decision. Fabio Cherant was probably showing his way out the UFC doors, going to a lesser promotion, I would imagine. Renato Moicano. This is another one of few that I got wrong. I picked Alexander Hernandez, but Renato Moicano got it done by submission round two. I know pissed off Mbae because that was one of her unranked contenders, and pissed me off a little bit too because Alexander Hernandez did not build up to. He was not the fighter I thought he was. He kind of shit the bed. Renato Moicano, dominant victory there, submission round two. Then I picked Ronnie Lawrence. That was a tough fight. I did hedge bet Manny Martinez because of the plus money. But Ronnie Lawrence came through. That was my pick, and I did pick him by decision. So I propped that one out. Cash it. Then I got a full 3-leg parlay cashed in with Andrei Arlovsky beating Jared Vanderaa by decision. Hit the prop. Bobby Green beating Nasrat Haqparast by decision. I hit the prop, and Kyler Phillips getting a submission round three. I said within distance. You can play back the show from last week. Nailed all three. Boom. And prop bet all three. I said Phillips within distance. Got it. Bobby Green decision. Got it. Andrei Arlovsky got it. Fantastic. I'm up big money at this point. And then finally closing out with the last three fights on the card. I had Jared Cannonier TKO. Thank goodness he won, because in the chat on Friday, I did say if Derek Brunson wins, I'm going to dye my hair, bleach platinum, dye my hair blonde. Yeah, that would probably not have been a good look, but I did talk to my hairdresser, and she said, if you lose, I will do that. Thankfully, Jared Cannonier took care of business by getting the TKO there. And then the next one surprised me. Ooh, I picked Derek Lewis to take care of Tai Tuivasa. Man, Tai is one tough SOB, outlasting the barrage in the beginning, and then coming round two, taking some more slamming hits, but then had that elbow which bounced Derek Lewis's head off the back of the cage. You saw there was no play. There was no play. It was like putting his head against the, there's no place to go. Boom. Oh, just good night, Irene. Good night, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. The Black Beast went to sleep. Tai Tuivasa, good on ya. A fan favorite. Man, Derek Lewis, I was kind of feeling some sort of way because he said he does not like to fight in Houston in front of his home crowd. He gets the jitters. But I don't know. I just think he just put himself in a bad situation with his head right up against the back. And then, boom, no place for his head to go except for eat an extra elbow. So, Ty, good job there. And finally, I had cashed on Izzy by decision. It could have been a robbery. Mbaye thinks that Robert Whittaker got robbed. A couple other people think that he may have got robbed. Doesn't matter. I cashed in by decision. I propped that one out. So I went overall 11-3. Not bad at all. I did get a lot of props there throughout the entire thing. So, oh yeah, I made Hey, Button. You feeling better after nap? That's good. So I come through 11-3, looking good. And then on top of that, I've been hitting degenerate soccer parlays, global soccer. Every morning I see soccer. I bet online, pull up soccer, today's games, and the teams that I think I know that are playing against a team that I don't know, I'll take the team I know, and I'll parlay like groups of 3, 4. I even hit a 5-game parlay only because it was all favorites. I either take the favorites, or if I know a team and they're plus money, I'll take them either plus the half a goal or PK or just money line at plus money. So anyway, I had a pretty fair weekend. I hope this interesting crappy card goes just as well. So we're just going to get into this now. I don't have the over-unders. BetOnline did not have them available, but I do have the straight odds. So let's get into UFC Vegas 48 early prelim fights, starting with the curtain jerker. Jonathan Pearce taking on short notice replacement Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez is replacing Austin Lingo on rather short notice against Jonathan Pearce, JSP, the big minus 330 favorite, 3-1 favorite for Jonathan Pearce. Okay, let's talk about the favorite first. Are you hungry? After this video, I'll make you some lunch, okay? Jonathan Pearce, 29 years old, is taking on Christian Rodriguez, 24 years old. Jonathan Pearce has a record of 11-4. He's coming off a great win off Omar Morales, where he took care of business. He choked him out, rear naked choke, round 2. And before that, he has a nice win over Kai Kamaka III. Kai Kamaka now killing it in Bellator, so good look on Pearce in those most recent 2 fights for JSP. Before that, though, he did take a ground and pound loss to Joe Lozan. That was in his UFC debut, so you can wipe that one off for first time jitters or whatever you want. Jonathan Pearce is 4-1 in his last 5. He's fighting out of Fight Ready. I'm going to tell you a little interesting quinky-dink here in a minute. A little coincidence, if it is a coincidence. Jonathan Pearce fighting out of Fight Ready. And he's got a 5-inch height advantage over the newcomer Christian Rodriguez, and he's the same reach. So 5-inch height. Interesting. Now Christian Rodriguez, slight bit under. He's in age, he's a bit younger. He's plus 270. Very interesting. He's coming off a verbal submission win over Ryan McIntosh in NAFC. That's North American Fighting Championships, and that is a regional scene in the Midwest, I think like Wisconsin, around there. This is his UFC debut against Jonathan Pearce. Like I said, he's coming in as a replacement for Austin Lingo on short notice, but the guy is undefeated, and he is chomping at the bit to make his UFC debut. Before his verbal submission in NAFC, he has a win over Tracy Cortez's brother, Junior Cortez. Coincidentally enough, Junior Cortez, out of Fight Ready, is the main training partner for Jonathan JSP Pearce. Very interesting. I think there's a little bit of revenge talk there. Yo, man, Pearce, you got a Junior Cortez is Tracy's little kid brother, younger brother, and Rodriguez happened to get the unanimous decision victory over him in the Contender Series. He is undefeated as a pro, but as an amateur, he's taken a couple losses. He is 5-2 as an amateur, so 12-2 overall fight record, but 7-0 as a pro. I'm sure he likes that sound better. So, and Christian Rodriguez, not bad, fighting out of Rufus Sport. Pretty good facility in itself. Let's see who's taking C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez, and JSP, Jonathan Pearce here. Starting with the favorite in Jonathan Pearce. Welcome back, Will Martin. Will Martin is back on the scene. I didn't even know. I thought he had maybe left the capper scene because he had like a second baby, and then he disappeared for a long time. I even unsubscribed, but then I saw in the feed Will Martin. I was like, yes, thank you. Will Martin is back, and he's saying within distance is his pick for Jonathan Pearce here. Then we got James Lynch, interviewer extraordinaire, on time with his Monday show. James Lynch taking Jonathan Pearce. We got Tiger Bomb MMA. Usually that's Johnny and Jose, but Jose was not present, so it's just Johnny. And Johnny is saying submission round 2 for Jonathan Pearce. Then we've got AJ DeVito, MMA Experts, also siding with Pearce by submission too. However, this is not a full capper consensus because we have the contrarian picker, my good friend, Nora's favorite capper. Nora, who's your favorite capper? Vlad, that's right, from UFC. Celebrities and Classics. Yeah, I said, Nora, is Daddy your favorite handicapper? And she's like, no, Daddy, you're my second favorite. Vlad's my favorite. The Bulgarian Cowboy has a fan in my daughter, Nora. She likes Vlad because, Vlad loves our cat, Nippet. So, I don't know. But anyway, Vlad is solely taking Rodriguez here. He said something about his, he's more aggressive, I think he said. I think he's got better striking and submission skills. He said if he's forced to pick a side, he's taking Rodriguez because I do force him. But his first pick is that the fight goes into round 3. Like I said, I don't know. BetOnline did not have the props out for the over-under, so imagine 2.5. I don't know what the over-under is going to be, but Vlad thinks it's going to go to round 3. But if he has to take a side for revenge, I'll take Rodriguez. C-Rod. So there you have that. And I think I will side with Jonathan Pearce here because of the experience. I don't know much about Rodriguez. And the whole thing about the drama about let's get revenge for Junior Cortez. Like I said, Junior training out of Fright Ready with Tracy and Jonathan Pearce. Is Jonathan Pearce's main training partner Junior Cortez? So Junior Cortez has fought Rodriguez in the Contender Series and lost to a unanimous decision. So I think there's a little bit extra motivation there for JSP to get a victory for his good friend and training buddy Junior Cortez. So I think he's going to get it done. I'm really not sure how. I guess I have to pick a method though to make that minus 330 a plus number. We're going to say submission, and we're going to say round 2. I think round 1 is going to be spent sizing each other up, playing tippity-tappity, and circling the octagon and feeling each other out a little bit, checking each other's range. Then round 2 is when Pearce is gonna manage to get it onto the ground and get that submission victory over Rodriguez, who is probably gonna welcome a visit onto the ground. Moving on. Next, we've got another veteran taking on a newcomer. Well, relatively newcomer. He's not brand new. I'll explain in a minute. We got Mowgli, Gabriel Benitez, with a record of 22-9, playing the part of the underdog here. Plus 132, taking on David Onama. David Onama, he came in, he's coming up, he's a minus 152 favorite, okay? He's coming off a loss, but the loss is a good one. It's to Mason Jones. He lost unanimous decision, where everybody in the world expected Mason Jones to take care of business, but Onama was out striking him, was winning on the feet, so Mason Jones, having the smart fight IQ, took the fight to the ground, grapple left him, and managed to get unanimous decision, but still, that came in at short notice, like 3 days, and a weight class up. That was at lightweight. This is featherweight fight for Onama, so that explains a little bit why he's favorite, because he did take short notice against Mason Jones, who is highly touted in a division higher up, and he held his own, made a unanimous decision, and had everybody on Mason Jones' side sweating that entire fight. So before that, David Onama was out of the Fighting Alliance that's in Missouri, because he trains out of Glory MMA. Emotional damage. Anyway, he fights out of Glory MMA with James Krause, and James Krause can do wonders for a lot of these fighters. Okay, if they would just listen to me. So David Onama, the silent assassin. He does have a 3-inch height and 3-inch reach advantage over Mowgli Gabriel Benitez. You got to keep that in mind as well. Let's talk about Gabriel Benitez. Guy's 22-9. He's got, so what's that? 3 times as many, or 3 times as many fights, 4 times as many fights. I'm not good, man. 3 times as many fights as David Onama. He's coming off a loss to Billy Q. Billy Quarantino beat him by punches in round 3. And then prior to that, he has a win against Guitar Hero Justin James, who I think is no longer in the UFC. Maybe, but I think he's gone. I think he's, I was rooting for him to stick around, but yeah, he's gone. Mowgli beat Justin James by a knee to the body in round 1. That was interesting. Then he took a loss to Omar Morales, who we just talked about earlier when Jonathan Pearce had beat Omar Morales. But anyway, we're talking about a different fight. Gabriel Benitez lost to Omar Morales. Omar Morales is decent. I think he's pretty good. Unanimous decision loss there. And before that, a loss to Sadiq Youssef. Sodiq Yusuff beat him ground and pound round 1. Not a good look. Prior to that, he has a win against Humberto Bandenet, where he slammed him and then had some punches, and he made quick work of Bandenet. 39 seconds of round 1 with that slam, and that was his UFC. No, it wasn't his debut, because you know why? His UFC debut happened in 2014. Way back. He is the elder here by a little bit, nothing crazy. 33. Onama is 27 for the Silent Assassin. Gabriel Benitez fighting out of AKA, also known as American Kickboxing Association over in California. Onama, like I said, Glory MMA out of Missouri. So this is a very interesting fight. We got the veteran gatekeeper, you could say, against Onama, hot prospect. His one loss coming to a close one to a formidable opponent in Mason Jones. I don't know what to do here, guys. Let's see what the cappers have to say. Starting with David Onama, we've got Tiger Bomb. Johnny is saying Onama should get a knockout, round 2. Then we've got James Lynch, also on the side of Onama. Will Martin, also taking Onama. Vlad, UFC Celebrities and Classics, the Bulgarian Cowboy, on the side of Onama. And finally, MMA Experts is the contrarian pick. Yes, AJ DeVito, taking the veteran experience in Benitez. He does have a stronger, much stronger strength of schedule. But the thing is, he's been beat by those stronger guys. He's been beat by Billy Q. Yeah, he fought him, but he lost to him. Yeah, he fought Omar Morales, but he lost to him. Yeah, he fought Sodiq Yusuff, but he lost to him. So he does have a stronger strength of schedule, but this doesn't mean he's better. He lost those fights. Out of people he's beat, I'm Justin James. I like the guy as a person, but I don't think he's that fantastic of a fighter. And he beat Humberto Bandenet. I don't know where that guy is. Where are they now? I have no idea where he is now. I don't know. So, man, this is kind of a tough one, but I'm gonna lean with the rest of the capper majority. I'm gonna have to go with the favorite here, only because that he, arguably, Mason Jones, that fight, Onama had 0 camp. He had like 3 days or something. He had very short notice fight, a weight class up from what he normally fights at against Mason Jones, and he took it to the unanimous decision. Had all Mason Jones' face look like he just got in a fight that he lost. So for real, Onama, I think, is a better striker. I think he's gonna come in with a grudge a little bit, wanting to get that win back, coming off a better camp this time. Out of Glory MMA, he's got the height and the reach and the age. I see all the signs are pointing toward David Onama here. I'm gonna have to say against Benitez. Benitez has found some losses within distance. Sodiq Yusuff, round 1, took care of him. Billy Q took care of him round 1. Omar, that was by decision. This is recency bias too. I'm saying recency. So I think Onama is going to be able to get the TKO. Also, it'll be a knockdown to a ground and pound. I'll reserve it to round 2. I think round 1, again, they're going to test each other's range, because Benitez, I don't think, really knows he knows Onama's got a 3-inch reach advantage, but they're going to feel each other out. Or Onama's going to clip him and get that TKO round 1. But we're going to give Mowgli the benefit of the doubt and think he can make it through. Use his veteran savvy, his veteran experience, and make it through round 1 to take care, or to then get taken care of by Morales. Or, I'm sorry, Onama. David Onama, Silent Assassin, SBD. Silent but Deadly Onama. Okay, so finally moving on. Next we have the female bantamweight showdown between Jessica Rose Clark and Stephanie Edgar. This is going to be a good one. Stephanie Edgar is the underdog at plus 155. She's got a record of 6 and only 2 losses. 6 wins, 2 losses for Stephanie Edgar. She's taking on Jessica Rose Clark. Got the adorable tattoo on her face of a heart or something. Jessica Rose Clark, 11-6 as a professional. She's the minus 180 favorite. That line did move a little bit. It was at like minus 190, minus 200 in some books. Stephanie Edgar was at plus 160, so you gotta imagine a little bit of money's been coming in on Edgar, causing that line movement. Jess. She's 1 year older than Stephanie Edgar. She's 34. Edgar is 33. Nothing doing there. She's coming off a win against Jocelyn Edwards. Unanimous decision. Jocelyn Edwards, I'm not really high on her, but I guess she does have a pretty good fight resume. Before that, she beat Sarah Alpar, another fighter I'm not really big on. I guess she's supposedly has some decent wrestling, but Jessica Rose Clark took care of her knees and punches. Round 3 took her out. Then she had that loss to Pani Kianzad by unanimous decision, but Pani Kianzad is a formidable opponent in the female bantamweight division. Jessica Rose Clark is actually, I think, a little small for bantamweight, but I think she can still handle her own there. Before the Pani Kianzad, she lost again. She lost to Jessica I, also unanimous decision. However, she has prior to that, she has a win over Paige Van Zant. I think that was Paige. She sent Paige Van Zant into bare knuckles. Like after that loss to Jessica Rose Clark, Paige Van Zant signed up for some bare knuckle fights. But anyway, she's 3-2 in her last 5 for Jessica Rose Clark. She fights out of 10th Planet Vegas, which is not the main branch of the 10th Planet, but nonetheless, it is 10th Planet Vegas. She also fights out of Combat Sports Martial Arts. That is over in California, where Stephanie Edgar, she fights out of the Buddy Gym in St. Gallen, Switzerland. St. Gallen, Switzerland. Stephanie Edgar is Swiss. Stephanie Edgar's coming off a win against Shanna Young. Ground and pound round 2, but Shanna Young I don't think was ever UFC, like a UFC caliber female fighter. Before that, she took a loss to Tracy Cortez. That was her UFC debut. And Tracy Cortez is good. You gotta give her that. So you can't take much from that. She's 4-1 in her last 5. Stephanie Edgar is. She's been Switzerland, where she trains at the Buddy Gym. Also, the Buddy Gym holds their own regional scene competition called the Buddy MMA Clash. That's what it is, the Buddy Clash. Buddy MMA Clash. So she did, Stephanie Edgar, of course, was popular in that Swiss regional. She does have some fights over in Ryzen. That's a Japanese regional scene. And Invicta. She's been on some full women cards with a lot of big name women. And Invicta, I think, is out of Missouri, I think. So anyway, interesting fight here between Jess Rose Clark and Stephanie Edgar. Clark, native to Australia, but now fighting out of the Vegas and Cali. Stephanie Edgar, native to Switzerland, fighting out of Switzerland. Okay, so let's see what the cappers have to say. Starting with favorite here in Jessica Rose Clark, we've got UFC Celebrities and Classics. Vlad is saying his original pick, of course, is Fight Goes the Distance. Well, it is a female fight, Vlad. They usually do. But if he has to take a side for Ranch, that's me. He'll take Jessica Rose Clark. Then we got Will Martin also taking Jess Clark by decision. James Lynch also on the side of Jess Clark. Didn't say method, but probably decision. Johnny from Tiger Bomb. Also, Jess Clark by decision, but emphasize that this is a lower level female fight, so none of these guys are really confident. And finally, MMA experts, AJ DeVito finishing off to make this a full capper consensus. A full capper consensus is when... Oh, you don't feel good. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Nora's homesick today. She didn't feel good today. But she knows what a full capper consensus is.
All the handicappers pick one side of the way.
That's right. And in this case, all the handicappers are taking Jessica Rose Clark to beat Stephanie Edgar in this very close, much closer than I think the cappers have it, fight. But I can't go female fight. I can't go really against the cappers here. I have to side with them, and I do think Jess does have that attractive. That I like her tattoo too, but she's got that. She's very more marketable. I see when you type in Jessica Rose Clark versus Stephanie Edgar predictions on YouTube, a lot of those first things that come up are all about Jessica Rose Clark. You got to scroll down the page if you want to see anything about Stephanie Edgar. Like, you can tell the popularity just by that. It's not saying she's gonna definitely win over Edgar. It's anybody. It's female martial arts. It's anybody's fight, but I'm gonna have to go with the favorite here, despite not being plus money. I gotta take it. I think Jess Clark probably take care of it. Only because Stephanie Edgar, you look at her opponents, it's not. Shanna Young, not good. Tracy Cortez, that's a loss. Before that, she was in Buddy Clash. Buddy Clash was like the scene held by the facility that she went to. So she kind of had a little bit of a favoritism, you would think. You know, hey, I'm part of the MMA Buddy gym. I'm part of the Buddy gym, and I'm here representing the Buddy Clash that's probably happening at the gym, at the Buddy facility. It's just weird, and she hasn't, like, Invicta. I looked through it. She does have losses against, who is it? Mara Borello. No, that might have been there was some, noticed there was some other, I think she has a win against Mara Borello in an Italian regional. If it was this fight, or it could have been the other one that, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But the thing is, if you do a comparison on the quality of fighters that these two females have faced in the past, Jess Rose Clark has definitely fought and beat higher quality fighters than Stephanie Edgar, especially in the most recent past 4. So I'm going with that, and I think she's going to be able to get it done here. Female fight, I'm going to say by decision. So there you have it. To recap, time check. Like I said, Nora's sick. Let her go. And time check right around a good time. So to recap, I've got
Time check.
time check. I'm almost done, sweetie. I got Jonathan Pearce beating Christian Rodriguez via submission round 2. Hopefully that'll prop that out. It'll make that a plus money. And then I'm taking the David Onama, the newcomer, from recency bias. I think Benitez, don't get me wrong, Mowgli is a good fighter. It's just I think Onama is going to come out there and just perform better. I think he's going to outstrike him. And David Onama, hopefully being at Glory MMA, they've worked on his ground game and takedown defense. And I think Mowgli won't even bother taking him to the ground. I think he's going to stand there and punch, go bang for bang with him, and Onama's going to win that battle on the feet. And finally, I'm taking Jessica Rose Clark to beat Stephanie Edgar in a coin flip lower level women's fight where Jess should be the winner there. So there you have it. I'm going to parlay all these. I'm going to parlay Clark, Onama, and Pearce in a 3-leg parlay as soon as I'm done making this video. So soak it in. Gather your info. Place those bets and cash those tickets. I appreciate you watching. Be sure to give me the thumbs up. Go ahead, leave comments in your leave some comments in with your opinions on who you think is going to win these 3 fights. I noticed whose fight got. I did a sheet for the next 3 fights on the card, but then what's his name? Hold on, I have it right here. Oh, unbelievable too. It sucks. Khalid Taha. He withdrew for some reason. He was supposed to against Mario Batista. So now I have the other show ready. Diana Belbita versus Gloria DePaula. Chaz Skelly versus Mark Striegel. And it was supposed to be Mario Bautista and Khalid Taha. But now that's off the card. So I don't know if I should just do a 2-fight show. Or because I did the research. That's the thing. I watched all the videos. I wrote down all the people. I wrote down the cappers picks. Yeah, I think I might just do a 2-fight capper comparison show. Whatever. I think I might do a little bit later today. Anyway. So regardless, take a look. Good luck on these bets, and I hope to see you next time. Later.